guys, this is Tyler with Toxic Automotive Performance, and today I have a 2001 Audi A4 Quattro with a 1.8 turbo motor. A few days ago, I got a little trouble with the ground and poked a hole in my oil pan, so I ordered a new one. And today I'm doing an install video on how to do it. A lot of concerns with this one is people say you have to raise up the motor a few inches and all that stuff. I'm going to see if I can do that without doing that, and if not, I'll show you step by step how to take it off, lift the engine, and put it back in.
Alright, so the first steps are fairly easy. You've got these bolts right here that are up in the front, and then you have 16 of these little smaller bolts up in here. They go all along the oil pan. And the bolts in front, you'll need a 13mm, and for the bolts up top, you'll need a 10mm. You'll also need ratchets, extensions, all that fun stuff. Alright, so after you've got the first 3 bolts out of this piece up here, they look like this. Then this little piece right here moves freely and it's detached from the oil pan. Alright, so here's the reason why I'm replacing my oil pan. Too many you may not know, but that's not holding any oil anytime soon. Alright, so you're also going to need an Allen wrench to take out the hold on, look at the light. The turbo oil feed or return line, and then the oil level sensor as well. So use a little Allen wrench to get those out. There you go. Alright, so there's the oil level sensor out of the hole, and then the turbo feed line is also off. I also noticed another thing, that up here, in the way back there, there's more of these little bolts. So you're going to want some sort of swivel socket or whatever, because right now I'm using a just an old wrench and some sockets to try and get those out, and it's taking me forever, but it's whatever you got. Alrighty, so I just found up behind this little mounting bracket that you took off first, there's also 2 more bolts up in there. And now I've got, then there's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. There's the 7th one back there. And then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a 7th again back there. And then you move on back up in here, and there's a few bolts back up in here, over here, and then the trickiest ones of all is right up here in the transmission. There's 2 bolts. I don't know if you probably can't see them right now, but I'll show you later on how to get those out, but they're up in that hole. Alright, so up in there, there's another one of those bolts. It's just like the ones that are around the outside. I'll try and get a better look at it. It's hard to get light up in there. But what I did, you can't see that. You can either go from the front and turn the main pulley and get you need the flywheel to spin, because there's a notch in it, and once you get that notch, you'll be able to reach in there and get that bolt that's way up in there. You can either try and fit a socket up in there, or you can use another Allen wrench, just like it's the same exact one that you used on the oil level sensor and everything, but it just goes right up in there, and you can turn it out that way. And those are probably the 2 trickiest bolts to get, because there's another one up in there. And I just kept I took the coils off and just kind of slightly cranked the engine until it got to where that gap was. Alright, so I did find out that you do have to lift the engine, and that's for sure, but it's not as hard as you think. There's just 3 bolts. You have to, well, loosen up your sway bar right here with these, one right there, and then there's a mount there in the back, and then there's one up here in the front, and another one up front, and that's how you lift it up. Alright, so you do have to lift the engine up in order to get the oil pan out, and it's not as hard as it seems. You just have to loosen up, take out these bolts over here on the back transmission mount, and then you want to take out the bolt for the engine mount right up here. Good angle of it, Quattro. It's up in here. And then there's another mount right up here to take the motor down. And then you just get your jack. I used a piece of wood, probably not very safe, but and then you just jack it off this thing and lift it up, but be careful not to pull any hoses or smash any anything else that would be important, like a firewall or other random electrical things. Alright, so I have it jacked up off the thing, just off the left of the oil pan, or right of the oil pan when you're laying under it, be left if you're in front. And then I'm also using a block of wood to jack up off the transmission, so you can get up into these upper bolts up behind here. Alright, so far, what we have to do is after you jack it up and get the engine, we get the engine, so okay. The engine has to be jacked up quite a bit in order to get the oil pan out. And then what you'll have to do is you have to pull it down and out from there. It's not very good lighting. Hold on. And that's what it looks like under there. It is a pain in the ass, the whole part of it, everything about it. But you lift up the transmission and the motor till it's, I don't know, about that high out. And then here's the old oil pan with the hole in it, and there's the new one. Well, after hours of work and finally getting the oil pan back in, this is my boy old Scat dribbling that oily stuff. Way to go. Well, let's hope it runs good. I can't tell if it's good or not. It didn't sound good when it started. Did you hear that? Alright, so what you should kind of plan to take on this is that it's not going to be a short job. It took me almost 11 hours to take the oil pan out, put the new one back in, get all the oil in. I would say that your fastest bet on this would be to probably lift it up first, and then take all the bolts out, taking the oil pan out and everything. That would be the easiest thing to do. Or you could start how I did. Whatever, kind of whatever you want to do, I guess. And I would, since you turn it over a few times without having oil in it, I would recommend before putting the plugs in and starting it up that you kind of just crank it over to get the oil flowing again, or it's going to sound really bad when you start up. And some tools you're going to need, pretty much just ratchets, Allen wrenches, some millimeter sockets. I think there was a 10, a 13, a 16. I think that's the only millimeter sockets we need. Some wrenches, I think I said that already. 2 jacks, and whatever else would make it easy for you. But just kind of showing that you can do stuff at your home and save you a couple thousand in a repair bill, probably. Alright. Tyler with Toxic Performance, and thank you for watching.